Polite inquiries. Jarrod, Kimber, George Dobell. What is the pass goal for Australia to get into the commanding position?
I think it's quite hard to say.
We don't know. 450?
I don't think it's as much as that.
375?
But one thing I'll guarantee, I think batting will get more difficult.
Yeah.
And if England are going to win, they have to go past Australia in the first innings.
The middle stump said, do you think the Australian media campaign has potential to sour relations between the countries?
Oh, not really.
It wasn't even going on today, really.
No, it does appear. I know what he means, but what they mean.
Well, today it was Cricket Australia, and they're an independent news source.
There is stuff all the time. It kind of works both ways anyway.
Yeah.
I think you've got to take it with a lot of salt.
Cool Dude J says, do you think English have shown enough mongrel in the field for today? I said mongrel. Is it mongrel or
Well, I don't know, but either way, I don't want to say anything inappropriate. They fielded quite badly. Well, they dropped 3 catches, didn't they? No, they don't need to be.
What were they supposed to be doing? Throwing balls at people's heads?
They did really, really well, apart from the bit where they dropped catches.
Kaka Hamant says, looks like Pryor's lost his form DRS2 on top of batting and keeping. Time for Bairstow. His keeping was as bad today as I can remember on a decent pitch.
He's going through a bit of a tough spell, there's no way around it. His keeping today wasn't as good as you would expect. I don't think he's ever been great against spin, to be honest, but I don't think Bairstow's going to be the next keeper,
Bairstow is not going to keep any better than Pryor did today. Vinod Rajpal says, looks like the right type of pitch for Mr. Cook & Co. 3 to 4 centuries on the cards plus draw. When was the last time they did things like that?
Well, they haven't scored 400 for 17 tests.
They haven't scored 400
not
as a
17
team,
tests,
let
17
alone
innings.
400s in an inning.
Probably, though, you sent that to us in the first couple of hours of play when it did look like a belter.
It still looks like a belter to me.
It's like in the cinema where my hands getting ever further.
Karthik says, why has Ben Stokes been chosen ahead of Tim Preston? Wait, because there's a few. Dizzy Geary says, what is the role of Ben Stokes? Similar to Diona Ryan in the West Indies, make someone else look better. Jack Chantry says, is there a case to be made for playing Moeen Ali and Bresden as opposed to Stokes and Panesar? And that's it. Stokes is a proper batsman. They wanted 6 proper batsmen with Pryor out of form, so they had to pick another batsman. By taking the Monty Panesar risk, essentially what they had to do is back themselves up with another seamer. So while it may not make 100% of sense, it makes sense in their version of logic at the moment.
I think it does make sense. I think he's only 22. He's going to be a really good cricketer. He's also quite quick. He reverses the ball, and I think that could become more of an issue in this test as it goes on. And he really can bat. Whether he's a test number 6 right now, I don't know. I don't think he's actually a better batsman than Chris Woakes right now, but I think his scope is enormous. I think he's...
he's got
a massively talented cricketer.
He's got a bigger scope than most men. I mean, scope-wise, massive. Wooly Woofter says, a read Cricket Australia tweet, Monty, poke fun at someone with a beard and religious headdress, racist, poke fun at an Anglo, fun. But how? I just don't understand how it is.
I think maybe he doesn't know the whole story. Why don't you tell him exactly what we think happened?
So what happened was they weren't 4 fans that were at the ground dressed up.
No, they weren't people who were there.
Cricket Australia found that image. They went out looking for an image of men in headdress, and then they said, "Will the real Monty stand up?" That's just racial profiling.
I did think that was a bizarre tweet. I mean, obviously they deleted it and apologised.
Stump for a Duck says, how can Cricket Australia's new media department be seen as a credible news source when they're reporting on themselves?
Well, they can't, but Cricket Australia are not the only ones doing this. It was the BCCI who led this. They employ the commentators, which is why it's so important to have independent journalism.
You can't change what the word independent means. So when Cricket Australia say it's an independent news arm, it's still run by Cricket Australia. So, I mean, no one in the world is stupid enough to think that that is independent. Sam Wheeler says, why does George Bailey look smug all the time?
I don't think he does.
He smiles a lot. He's a smiler. He's a really nice guy.
I think he's a nice fellow. I think he's quite a good-looking guy.
Why do you keep saying that? Shamin Sayed says, why a drop-in pitch? Why not a natural pitch in Adelaide? The whole Adelaide Oval...
I blame the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, the whole Adelaide Oval is being changed to become an Aussie Rules ground. Aussie Rules players don't like walking on the square because they say it's a bit hard on their knees, even though they did it for 120 years.
And costs concert venue as well. That's why I mentioned the Stones.
Nordic Mosquito says, have you ever met Henry Rollins? Yes.
Is he any relation of Robert Rollins? Adrian Rollins?